Sup. The opinions and views expressed in this podcast are that of our own and Future Bachelor only, and not affiliated with any outside party or entity. This fun podcast may include some adult language.
Future Bachelor Podcast.
Give it to me. Sorry, Justin Timberlake, but yo, this is Future Bachelor. My name is Sai.
I'm Veronica.
And this is episode 104. Yeah.
Nope, it is not. It is episode 105.
I don't even know what day it is. It's episode 105.
Wow.
It's bound to happen, actually. I knew it was going to come a day where I was just going to start doing this to our numbers because, you know, after
That's
100,
how numbers work.
I actually don't care how numbers work anymore. It's just like part of the coronavirus, I think. But don't worry, guys. We got our hand sanitizer right on deck.
My hands. Okay, my thing is like, if I need to start like investing in some good anti-aging hand creams because I've been washing my hands and using drying alcohol-based hand sanitizers all the time, and your hands show your age quickly and like first. And I want to be youthful.
You got old lady hands?
I will.
I will when I'm old.
Yeah, hopefully not before.
I wanted to start off with that jam because, like, I heard it the other day randomly, and I just couldn't stop listening to it.
It's a good one. Now it's gonna be stuck in all of our listeners' heads. And you know what's good about that?
What?
We have a playlist
just
the
for
Future
you. Bachelor Podcast.
If you are stuck inside and you're like looking for some good, maybe work from home music, maybe some good dance break music for when you're cooped up inside, the Future Bachelor Podcast
playlist on Spotify. Search for it now or anywhere you look at Spotify.
Follow it. It's great.
Well, listen, I like that song because actually it was an interesting collaboration because, you know, Timbaland was making songs for Nelly, Furtado, making songs for Justin Timberlake. But in Timbaland's verse, he's like, I'm a real producer and you're just a piano man. He was dissing. This was the first time producers started dissing each other on tracks. Like,
Who was he dissing?
He was dissing Scott Storch, who's produced like Lean Back for
Lean
Fat
Back.
Joe and a bunch of other, like he produced Let Me Love You by Mario and all this different
Wow.
stuff. So
I didn't even know that.
Well, he actually used to be part of the Roots.
Yeah.
Scott Storch used to be part of the Roots with like Questlove and all them. But he's ventured out, started working with Dr. Dre a lot, and he got like pretty much all the Chronic, like he's all the pianos on that bling 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 bling, all that classic stuff he did. But he worked with Timbaland on, I think it was Cry Me a River with Justin Timberlake.
Yep.
And for some reason, like, you know, they had a beef over that song and who actually produced what. And you know, that's why he's calling him just a piano man. You came in and played the piano for that, but I produced this song. And they're all cool now. Like, that was years ago.
Timbaland and Timberlake have always been like a pretty iconic.
I mean, Timbaland's coming back. He's been pumping beats out on Instagram. Like, it's inspiring me. So, yeah, Timbaland's one of the biggest producers ever.
Should you just get more hand sanitizer?
I don't know. I'm going to be a little freaked out a little bit.
Me too.
I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, both of us are kind of like very. So we're probably technically. We probably aren't supposed to be doing this.
Yeah, we might figure out a way next week to do this without being in the same room.
Yeah,
like
we're not touching each other. We didn't even do our hug.
Yeah, we didn't hug.
I just passed him.
I got a bye week, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, passed him. You're such a...
I know.
I even gave you steaks, and you're all like...
I know, dude. Veronica shows up to my house with, like, steaks. Now, I'm not talking about 1, 2, like 3 or 4 or 5. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, like, yeah. Because a couple of the ones that are those medallions, like, once you defrost those ones, like, those are the ones that, you know, the strip is the one that you see, like, the very obvious, like, strip in it. But the little medallions, like, once you defrost those should be, like, little pieces.
Ooh,
so those could be kind of tasty.
I am going to be good for the lockdown that's coming our way here in Atlanta.
I know.
You guys might be experiencing wherever you're at. You know, this we were just talking about it before the show. Each week we get more knowledge about what's happening in society. So, you know, from week to week, you'll see us, like, be, like, getting more serious about it, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't even know how serious I am right now, but it's gotten
I'm pretty serious about it.
I know, but
this
like,
is the first time I've left my house.
I'm same here. No one's leaving their house, but I'm just saying, like, it's still like, we haven't left our house, but like, still, like, how has it affected us? You know, like, besides just staying in the house,
like mentally.
Well, I mean, what's been going on? Like, what different things have been happening in your life?
Like, what have I been doing?
How has your workouts changed? How do you hang out with your friends?
Yeah. So, like, I feel like I don't talk about working out that much on this podcast. I know Sai sometimes does, but like I'm a pretty active person. Like I try to work out a minimum 4 times a week.
Yeah, you work out just as much as me.
Yeah, and so I usually go to this gym that's right, like literally, like it's a 5-minute walk from my place, and they actually stayed open a little bit longer than I think. Maybe they should have, but their programming is like they're little boutique gyms all around, and their founders created like virtual workouts that you can access if you have memberships to the gyms or whatever. So
Seems like a lot of people have been doing like whatever they can to kind of not lose, whoever. I mean, it's hard. All these businesses are affected. Everything.
Yeah.
I'm like so lucky that I still have like a job that like feels unaffected besides the fact I work from home.
Yeah,
now.
like one of my very good friends, Michaela, she teaches my dance classes that I go to, and she's a trainer and she's a dance instructor, and that's her money. And like she's also she does spray tan, so like all those things you can't really do like in person right now. So she has been, you could still sign up and pay for classes, and she's been doing Zoom classes, so like she can even like see us, and like we can like actually, like, because as part of our classes we usually are like yelling or singing along.
Yeah,
or doing
tomorrow
whatever.
or actually today when you guys listen to this, my trainer and I are gonna try to do this workout over Instagram Live. And we could do it personally and stuff like that, but I also feel like it's cool if like he's able to show other people kind of like get to know him while we're working out, maybe once or twice a week or something during this time. So it's kind of cool. I've been seeing a lot of people DJing, producing, getting really creative. Since last week, I'm sure a lot of people have downloaded TikTok and seen a lot of people dancing these days.
Have you been doing any, like, I've had a couple virtual happy hours with people, and then also my friends, my group text friends, we have been doing Jackbox games. Have you ever played Jackbox games? Like
I play them with other people in the same room. Like, I've done that before.
So it's easy to like modify it so you could play it with your friends across everywhere, like on a Google Hangout or something. Because like what you do is like whoever like has like that bought the Jackbox game party pack or whatever, they'll log into it and they can share their screen on Google Hangouts, and then you all are just on your phones, and then you can see the screen on your Google Hangouts.
Smart.
And it's been a lot of fun. We've done that a bunch these past couple weeks, and it's a great way to like kind of connect, because my friends from college, my group text friends, we literally are in every single time zone.
Yeah.
So it's a great way for us to all be able to like connect and like
I haven't
see
done
each
any
other.
Crazy Google Hangouts. Like, so in the last week, the way my habits have changed is that like we went from being okay with hanging out with like less than 10 people like in a gathering, still trying to be careful and shit, but to now actually not like leaving. Like, I haven't really left my apartment. I've gone outside, which has been interesting because I wonder if other people are experiencing it too. But like, I've lived here for almost 2 years in this apartment, and I know people maybe one-on-one in passing, like from
but now
the
you're like
parking lot.
meeting everybody.
Now we're legit like going outside and just pulling like this chair I'm sitting in right now. I'm just putting it out in the front lawn and just chilling, and like we're all 6 feet apart and stuff, and And last night we were all just chilling, watching the sunset and stuff.
Yeah, because it's been beautiful. It's been beautiful here. I mean, it was rainy the first couple of days of this week, but every other day during like our we're like in week 2 of our technically starting week 2 or whatever, midweek 2. I feel like every other day has been gorgeous in Atlanta.
But a cool idea that one of my neighbors came up with last night was like, why don't we do like, because our place is called Roanoke, so we started calling it Roanoke, and we did.
Oh, that's cute.
We did a prom last night. It was like an impromptu prom, like Roanoke's prom 2020. So like
you guys
all
like
of us,
dressed up.
We all had dates. Like all of our neighbors like matched up and paired up, even if it was guy on guy. Like we were just having fun and shit. But we all came out dressed like in some
that's so
like
cute.
tuxedos and dresses and stuff. And it was we did.
Did you like play some music and stuff?
Yeah, well, we played music. We did like a walk runway. Like we all had to do like our own entrance and
cute.
stuff. And then we did couples walks and stuff.
I love
it was
this.
really fun. Like it was like, and I was surprised that like when we came up with the idea, everyone was like about it, and I was like, then it came like 8:30, and everyone was like, I started feeling like it wasn't gonna happen, and then one of the girls was like, all right, everyone, go inside, take a Corona break, like wash your hands, wash your ass, eat some food, come back out, and dress to the nines, and everyone like actually dressed up. It was,
love that.
Awesome. So and like our maintenance guy here, he was kind of like our cameraman with the flashlight and stuff. So we had everything.
That's so cute.
We had like a dance party, so we're all like 6 feet apart, looking like a Charlie Brown dance or something. Everyone's just dancing in their own place. But it was really fun. It was creative,
Oh my
and like
God.
we would have never done that with this
Yeah,
apartment.
like I was telling you before the show started how like we got creative with like doing a trivia night
Right.
with my friends where one of them like was the question master, like if any other bar trivia you would go to, like had all the questions with themes per round and like, you know, different points totals you could allot and whatever. Right. And so then we were all on a Zoom call, and then we could we had like little teams. Some of them were like built-in teams if you had like a roommate or whoever like lived together or whatever. And then some of them, like my team that I was on were with my friend Teg and Margaret, and like so we just had a group text going.
Yeah, that's
like,
cool. The trivia online, that's like sick. I haven't taken advantage of like trying to set up the online thing yet. Mm-hmm. I've been trying to actually just still like see people and go outside.
Yeah.
I haven't been going like too far because it's actually kind of sketchy out there now. Like, not a lot of people are out there, and like the people I see, like especially when the sun starts going down, I feel kind of unsafe out in the streets.
Well,
like,
yeah, I mean, we live in Atlanta, which is a major metro, which has always had. It's not like shootings aren't rare here, but I feel like definitely. I mean, they've been highlighted more in like push notifications I've been getting.
Right.
I'm like not overly worried or anything yet, just because like I don't really feel unsafe. But yeah, I feel like it definitely is. People are tense.
Yeah.
People are losing jobs. I have plenty of friends that have lost jobs
But it's almost
like
I don't know. I can't like really feel like what they're feeling right now, but it's almost like everybody's kind of in the same boat though.
Yeah.
Like they don't know what's gonna happen. They don't know how it's gonna get fixed. They don't know. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know. Like, how are people supposed to pay for rent when they don't have a job?
Exactly, and that's why, like, some people are, like, you know, petitioning different places to either, like, do rent freezes or rent whatever.
I mean, that shit has to trickle up, though. Like,
I know it.
You know, the person that owns the building, what their
well, and that's, like, that all trickles up to, like, the government and, like, what they're gonna do, which that's, I mean... We're not super qualified to talk about that, right. But yeah, that's a whole thing. I mean, in what projection wise, like we're probably gonna go. I mean, we're already starting into some sort of recession situation. So
yeah. Well, anyways, I do recommend, you know, if you guys don't know your neighbors, we've been calling it instead of happy hour, we've been calling it neighbor hour. So like going outside and just sitting down in front of your place and maybe seeing what other neighbors might come out and just get to know. Because we were playing games like Never Have I Ever. I got to know like my neighbors. Like we all are like here for each other and stuff too.
I mean, so I feel like, and plus like we're lucky enough to like live, like I know I've been kind of creeping on my neighbors and stuff too. And we've talked, like I was potting plants outside and like one of my neighbors like came by and said hi and whatever. But I feel like we're lucky that we live in areas that are like decently young oriented, like or like around our age oriented. So like we definitely have like some of those. You know?
Even if they weren't your age, like, you know,
I mean, yeah,
I think it's cool to talk, like talking with older
anybody.
people, like,
I mean,
you know what I'm saying, like how are these times different from when you were growing up? What was like a time where you were freaking out like this when you were like in your
This is
30s?
a good time to call your grandparents if they're alive. I definitely called my grandma.
Nice.
And
for sure.
Talk to her.
I mean, it's scary times out there. But while we talked about what's been going on in the last week, we might as well talk about what's going on in the world with some quick hits.
Quick hits.
What do we got for some quick hits? Are there anything happening in the world besides Corona?
So, well, for Corona,
okay.
the Olympics are officially postponed, and this is like the first time since like World War II that they've had to do that, which is
I've been hearing that a lot lately.
Which is wild, yeah. And then a lot of movies because you can't go to movie theaters, you know.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been hearing a lot of different things happening. Like, well, I mean, it's unprecedented. So it's like movies that might have. I have a feeling about movies when they come out. Like, I just have like this weird thing where I know it's gonna do well or it's not. Like, most people might. You know what I'm saying? You're like, why the fuck did they make this movie? Yeah. You can say that to a lot of movies. Yeah. But some of those movies are getting postponed because like. First of all, no one's going to the movies, and it probably wasn't going to do that well anyways. I've seen people talking about pushing them straight to digital, so it's like $20. So some of the I feel like some Disney movies have been doing straight to digital because like they have the money and they have like a platform. I was trying to think which one I was hearing was coming to digital. Maybe like Wonder Woman, the new Wonder Woman that's coming out.
If that did, I'd be set. Yeah, honestly.
But have you?
What is that, like Wonder Woman 1989 or something like that?
1985. Yeah. But yeah, no. I mean, it'd be interesting, you know. And how do you go back? Speaking of how do you go back to the theaters after like you can just watch it in your home? But one thing I was talking about with my friend the other day when I was FaceTiming, we were just talking about because all right, I'm very like I love to show love to people. You know, I love to give fives, I love to give hugs, I love to give pounds, I love to give all that shit. And right now, it's just like you can't do that to people.
Yeah.
And you know, some people are gonna still try it, and I'll still do it with them. But like some people are like, don't fucking touch me. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah. You know, I'm also very affectionate, but I'm not touching it right now.
Well, regardless, like, you know, I'm washing my hands. I'm not like, you know,
I know.
I'm doing it with people I love and stuff like that. So it's like people that are, but nowadays it's like every day it's different, like, you know. And so I'm wondering like how long does after this all happens that people are gonna like just start going back to shaking hands again or like giving fives.
I don't know.
Stuff. Like, you know?
I don't know. And also, like, I mean, I've heard a lot of different projections of, like, how long this, and when I say this, I mean, like, this idea of social distancing, self-isolation, self-quarantine is going to last. And I've heard some projections that are, like, that I think actually our guest last week, MC, said, where, like, this could be an on and off situation where it's, like, kind of, like, a more flexible situation for, like, 18 months where, like, we still have to do a lot of, like, social distancing, whatever, or it could be maybe, you know, end of summer. It could be whatever.
With all that being said, though, like if it goes 18 months of this, like how after like a year and a half do people go back to even acclimating to touching each other again?
I don't know.
Because it's not going to stop people from having sex or kissing or doing any of that. And so you want to act like all ridiculous about a hand fight?
Which it should.
Just
actually,
go wash your fucking hands, dude, like everybody.
Like NYC, like New York, like I mean, New York is like on a big like statewide lockdown and everything, like New York City especially, because like it is like a hotbed of the issues, and like all of their hospitals and stuff are like at or over capacity right now. But they like, you know, they actually put out like a whole thing of being like, okay, like so having sex during this time, pretty much like if you don't live with them and if they aren't like your primary partner that only you're seeing them and they're also self-quarantining and whatever, like it's not a thing, you can't do it. So which like, I mean,
I wonder like what happened when like AIDS came out, and like, you know what I'm saying, like when AIDS came out, people probably weren't trying to touch each other even then, like, you know.
That's
I mean, I'm like people probably like wouldn't like want to even like get sweated on, touch the same things and stuff.
That was like, I mean, that was even a bigger issue. That was like a whole thing with like the gay community and things like that.
All that stuff though, like I mean, it took a while to eventually realize.
I mean, it's still like gay men can't give can't donate blood.
I don't know. I wouldn't know, but
no, that's like a real thing.
I wouldn't know, but you know, I think it's just kind of crazy because like eventually, like, how long does it take like society to acclimate back to being like loving and, you know, doing those things
like
that we used to do?
Physically affectionate, yeah.
Because like what you're gonna erase the high five from my life? Like you can't, dude. That's my whole life. Like, you know what I'm saying? I live for the
high
five.
elbow.
No, the elbow thing is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I don't want to elbow nobody. But but yeah, no. Yeah, I just thought that was a crazy topic. You know, movies though. Have you been watching anything crazy on the streaming apps? I just watched Tiger King.
I need to watch it actually, which is weird enough because one of my podcasts that I listened to that isn't this one, strange. It was called.
There's other podcasts.
Yeah, Over My Dead Body, and they had been promoting how they were coming out with a new series called Joe Exotic, which they only have like the first, well, on regular like streaming apps and things, they only have like the first 2 episodes of it out. But if you go to the Winner app,
they're
whatever,
smart.
They have all of them out. But so like, yeah, I had been seeing, I'm like, oh, Joe Exotic, whatever, and like it would show like the tiger and this person. So, but now I'm like, and now Tiger King is like a huge thing on Netflix. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna listen and watch and do both. So
it's just one of those things that like if you're looking for something to binge, like you're like, I want to like just like soak into something and then get sucked in. Because like after the first episode, the thing just like blows up. Like it's like you think it's interesting and then it's like, wait, every episode is like a different turn. You're like, how do these tiger people like big cat people like, you know, turn into this like drama that's so good? And
I know
the characters are like you couldn't even write them in
I know,
book.
but they're real.
They're real.
But yeah, I watched a lot of, I feel like I'm gonna use this time to just really hone in on some trash television. I watched all of last season of
I recommend watching The Hunters.
Okay, because remember we talked about it here on this the Hunters or The Hunt.
Well, okay, I just watched The Hunt too.
Okay,
that was the movie that we talked about months ago, right?
Yeah, that they
the
had
deplorables.
pulled. Yeah, that they pulled, and then I think they put it back out there, which I don't know if that was the smartest thing.
Well, I mean, they made it.
It's done.
The thing is, though, it's funny too because like they have some pretty well-known actors and actresses.
Well, yeah, like it's
they just are not even in the movie though. It's crazy. But yeah, the Hunters, where it's like an organization where they hunt like Nazis that were still in America and stuff post World War II.
I've seen a lot of the previews.
Yeah, it's really good. I think Jordan Peele is actually an executive producer.
Yeah, and it's who else is in it? A bunch of people, but
yeah, Al Pacino.
Thank you. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a bunch of good stuff right now. The funny part is though, I haven't been watching too much TV besides that though. Like I mean,
a lot of people are using this time to rewatch The Office, which I'm like, get a life. That is not a personality trait to be into The Office.
Right.
Everybody's. Fuck off. Like, literally, I hate that.
I think, like...
I'm going to watch The Office from season 1. And I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah. There's so many other things you could do with be productive, like, with his time. But the funny part is, it's like, I don't know. Like, I'm being so unproductive, like, during this time. It's the craziest thing I've ever, like, experienced. Like, what is it about, like, right now that I'm being so unproductive? Like, I don't want to, like... You know, I just kind of, I don't know. I want to be outside. Like, I want to talk to people.
I just think it's like a weird time in general. And
how do you think like society is affected by the fact that we actually have social media? Like, how do you think this would be different if we didn't have social media in our lives? Do you think people would be able to stay inside a little easier?
It would be, I don't know. So, I mean, I feel like the added, like, thing, so, you know, people have been comparing this to, like, oh, and, you know, Newton had to be quarantined during whatever. That's how he figured out gravity. Or, like, when Shakespeare was quarantined during this plague, that's how he wrote all these things.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, cool. They had no technology. Like, there is no computers. There is no...
I think FOMO. Like, you couldn't see, like, what other people were still doing outside.
Which I feel like a lot of people are starting to, like... I mean, it's becoming... Hopefully, the United States is going to start taking it more and more seriously because, like, we're just growing rapidly in cases day by day. But, I mean, yeah, I feel like technology makes this so much easier and also harder at the same time because... Technology, like, I've been able to use technology to, like, reconnect and connect with people and, like, do all the stuff I talked about at the top of the show. But also, like, it is, like, I feel like my phone, I have that, like, screen time thing. I, like, you know, you could technically turn it off, but I like to be shamed every week. And it told me last week how, like, my screen time was up, like, 15% or some shit. Like, because I'm, like, just scrolling and whatever.
I think it's bad for me, like, when it comes, like, to, like, how it's affected me with this whole thing is because, like, how connected we are. And the only things that really are telling me that it's bad is, like, the news and things you read on there. But, like, if you, like, actually look at your social media and all the thousands of people we follow and all this stuff, not many people are actually affected. You know what I'm saying? Like, tell me.
What do you mean by that, though?
Like, how many people in your life that have talked about, like, that they're affected by coronavirus? Like, they have, besides a celebrity.
But, like, that has coronavirus?
Yeah, or know someone that has coronavirus, or they're talking about...
I mean, like, I don't know if I have, like, any direct people, but that doesn't mean... I guess, like, I think we're all affected.
I just haven't seen any videos of anyone that's, like, besides being like, I have coronavirus, I'm just in my room, and I'll be all right in 2 weeks. You do that, too. And like, you know, so that's, like, what's, like, for me, that's kind of, like,
I guess
separation.
I have friends that
if
work...
If it was as bad as everyone's, like, trying to say, I would be seeing videos of people, like, you know, like, dying.
No,
like,
I have friends that work in hospitals, so, like, that's the thing, is, like, I have friends...
Oh, I have people that work in hospitals, too, but, like, I mean, what's happening in the hospitals? They're sick... You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like,
and they're running out of places to put people. They're running out of ventilators to actually save people's lives. They're running out of equipment to protect nurses and doctors. And, like, I have...
But how many of the nurses have gotten it?
Well, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
like,
that's
why
the thing
aren't,
is,
like, all the most people that are, like...
do you know why? We're not testing enough people. They're not actually, like... That's why it's been crazy with all these, like, rich people that are getting tests. It's like, oh, so if you're rich, you get a test because, like, that's how that works. But there's, like, plenty of people who aren't being tested who need to be tested.
I get all that. My whole thing is that as simple as bad as the virus is, how come the people that are not, like, servicing the people that are having the virus and, like... wouldn't you see like a huge spread of them being sick and shit? Like,
I mean, I'm sure some of them are getting. I mean, they're
some
using
of them, but I'm not seeing any
sure,
videos of nurses being like, I caught the corona because I'm in the
some
hospitals.
of them. Well, like I've seen different things about like people
Like what?
having to
Specifically show
self isolate or like whatever. I mean, I'm just saying like, well, they're trying to do everything that they can to stay protected, and they're like. They have like no masks and stuff anymore because stupid people have been buying up masks, and like they are working hours and hours and hours. And like I know, like I mean, I don't know people, but I've seen different stuff where there's like people who work in different hospitals and whatever have had to like either stay or whatever, self quarantine or whatever, like outside of their own homes and can't even go home because of like things that they could be carrying and bring it back to their families.
Right. I mean, it just that's the way I look at life. I see how bad you guys are making it sound, and like usually that should be the front line of people that are going to be like getting it hit hard, and I don't really see anybody getting sick, anyone around me, anyone on social media, anyone that I know on social media, besides like famous people popping out, like a basketball player here, or an Idris Elba or Tom Hanks here. Like, it's just weird to me. I don't know. Just saying.
I mean,
that.
like, yeah, but I mean, the numbers don't lie, and the numbers technically aren't even showing everything that we can see.
Nothing's being shown. Everything. We don't see everything. We don't know anything, and that's the whole thing. But you know, as far as other stuff going on in the world right now, I had seen a lot of this, like Taylor. I didn't look into it because it felt like old news. But the Taylor Swift and Kanye West and Kim Kardashian beef, like, break that down. What's happening? Why is it unfolding back again?
It's brought back up because somehow I'm like I've been rereading. I haven't like I saw it when it originally popped up, but I haven't been reading all of it. But so it's like the full call was released the other day. Mm-hmm. And so in which this all seems like very appropriate timing because the new season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians airs the day that this episode airs. Mm-hmm. So that is...
Well, what else came out of this phone call?
It was just kind of...
Because what we already knew was that there was a phone call about Kim or Kanye when he made his famous video that he asked for Taylor Swift's permission to put her as a wax doll naked in like... Or she didn't know it was going to be naked or... Whatever the hell was happening. There was a clip that was shown years ago. And then so like this full call shows how she never consented being called like that bitch, or like she never consented to some of the other stuff. And also technically she never consented to that phone call being recorded and based on different it's very state by state, mm-hmm. but like some states are just single party, like where as long as the person recording or as long as one party knows that you're recording. But all right, so why would Kim Kardashian want this out though, even if it was for promo for a show? Why? I mean, it would seem like more like Taylor Swift would want this out right now. What is Taylor Swift doing that she wants promo?
I mean, I don't know what Taylor Swift's doing, honestly. But I've been because like I've been trying to like break it all down because I've been seeing a lot of different things coming from both sides where this is like really showing how much of like a bully Kim and Kanye were in this situation. Mm-hmm. And then I've seen other people being all like, oh, this shows that Taylor did this or that wrong. But most people are saying that. Like,
it is kind of messed up though how Taylor should be nowhere near like the Kanye West and Kim Kardashian world, like, you know, and somehow just because Kanye went up on stage and stole the mic from her, she is now like in their lives forever. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not really that fair. But what are you gonna do? Speaking of, like, you know, TV shows and stuff, like, I mean, they're still putting out, like, Keeping Up with the Kardashians and stuff. Because I heard that they're postponing, like, a bunch of TV shows that are even out right now.
Keeping Up with the Kardashians is filmed, like, so this season that will be coming out, most of it was probably filmed 6 months ago or more.
I've been seeing, like, the video clips of Kim and Kourtney fighting. Yeah. Have you seen that? Mm-hmm. It's hardcore. She's like... She said something about her fat ass or something.
No, like I
then leave.
Yeah, I literally watched the most recent season, the one prior to this one, in the past week or two, and it definitely they definitely are wilding out.
Well, speaking of famous people, have you seen the backlash of Gal Gadot?
Oh, that's part of my yikes moment.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get to that then. As far as new music that came out, The Weeknd finally dropped his album.
It's so good.
Is it?
I like it.
Okay. I mean, I like The Weeknd.
Yeah, it's good.
I haven't given it a full listen, but
I mean, I think his singles are his singles for a reason. I will agree. I mean, I'll be honest. I think I've talked about it on this podcast before. The Beauty and the whatever his 2015 album is, where it's like black and white and it's weird. It's like The Beauty and the Madness or whatever. I listened to that on every flight out of Atlanta.
Oh wow!
Straight through. I don't know why. It's a weird tradition I kept, and I keep doing it. And I love it. But so like I feel like I always hold something to that album. I don't know if it's as good as his last album that he released, which was also very good and was very sad boy Weeknd. This is definitely more disco-y, poppy Weeknd, with some sad shit, but it hits really hard.
Yeah, I'll have to give it a good listen. Nothing's really, I mean, one song maybe popped out to me, but it hasn't even been a slapper yet. So,
I mean, I love Heartless. I love some of those, but
what's it called? Kelsea Ballerini and Halsey dropped the single, so Halsey's still in the country game. Kelsea Ballerini, I've actually met her when she was on the come up before she became. I think what had happened was she's very talented. She's a really good, talented songwriter and singer. But she when Taylor Swift left the country world, I think they tried to like place Kelsea Ballerini in that role.
Oh, I totally can see that for sure.
So like she was hosting things and all these different things like out of nowhere, like just got put up on a pedestal.
I remember, she like hosted. What it was like some sort. It wasn't the CMAs, or was it the CMAs?
I think it was something crazy. She was her and
Toby
like
Keith.
Yeah, and I was like, what? Like Kelsea Ballerini, what have you done? And now she's got a great personality. She's beautiful and very talented, so she deserves to be there. But that's my little theory on Kelsea. But the beat was slapping on that song.
Yeah,
and,
it was almost a slapper.
Yeah, but
it was in the running.
Our girl JoJo, she kind of went viral this week with one of our favorite songs is "Get Out" by JoJo, but she did like a little beatbox cover thing on her table talking about staying in, right?
Yeah, so she did. Yeah, it's like
stay in
right now. Like, it's really good. Look it up on her Instagram, her YouTube, whatever. She has it everywhere. It's super great.
I wonder who was the genius that was like, hey, what if we flipped your song?
She said that she's been doing like, obviously she's got a new song called Man Out. That's actually really good. And she has like kind of like a whole little series or video series talking about like why she was kind of like sequestered from like the music industry and like how
I was about to say like why is she so underrated?
Because her record label like screwed her because she was like a teenager when she started, and like they pretty much screwed her and wouldn't let her release anything, and so then she was. That's why she re-released everything, like
re-recorded and re-released it.
Yeah, because
they wouldn't let the originals go out.
Yeah, so but
which essentially Taylor Swift might have to do the same thing eventually.
Honestly, but they
never sound the same.
So she kind of has been very active in her social media and everything, promoting her new song, kind of like trying to be like, yo, like I'm still here, which my friends and I have been right on her because she actually performed at Mizzou when I was like a senior. But she's great. She's an incredible performer. But so she has been doing a lot of Instagram lives, doing a lot of like Q&As, whatever. And so she had asked kind of like her Instagram audience to be like, okay, we're all quarantined. What songs? Because she does a lot of amazing covers. She does this really cool cover and flip of Marvin's Room. And so she does a lot of cool covers. And she's like, okay, what song should I cover? What song should I do? And whatever. And I guess somebody had submitted the idea of being like, what if you did like some sort like, it's easy for you to flip Get Out to Stay In. And she's like, oh, yeah. And that's when she did it.
That's what's up. Well, speaking of all the stuff that's coming out of staying in and being online, there's been a bunch of challenges, and I hate the people that are like, I don't do this shit, but like I don't do this shit either, but like why not? Like, what I'm saying? Like the one that got
I pick and choose what stuff I do.
Well, of course, but I'm just saying like there was one that came across, it was like, hey, throw a fire emoji at this like post and I'll post my favorite picture of you or something on your Instagram. But then I kind of like I freaked it a little bit by putting like something I liked about the person, like or something nice, to say about it. And
mine was this one isn't a thirst
trap.
Wow.
It still was like it was just a fly ass picture though. But it was just a moment where I was like, I like to take moments. Usually it's like on my birthday when people say happy birthday to me that I'll go through and say happy or thank you and something personal. I'll be like, how are you doing? How's this? Whatever it is.
Oh,
but I took that moment, like, this weekend to kind of do it. And like I told you, I like almost instantly regretted it because like it came with these rules and blah blah blah. Eventually I stopped like sharing the rules and I was just cutting it off, but a lot of people hit that fire emoji and I had to like
post
my whole day was like spent on like
I did that was like a trend.
And you can't skip anybody either.
No,
like,
because
you skip
people
someone,
know.
Well, they'll know. They'll be like, why did I get skipped? Like, I'm not cool enough.
That was like a trend like maybe 6 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I did it then, and that's why when it came back through this time, I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking.
Yeah, but you did it.
I'm like, I know.
I did it. What other challenges?
I did the girls one. There was like one that was like for women empowering other women. Like post a selfie of yourself and tag other 10 beautiful women that should do it for themselves and like whatever.
But after that, then the challenges came like avalanche and
hot
shit.
and heavy.
So I got like the push-up one.
Yeah,
like
we both
the blah,
did the
blah, blah.
push-up one.
I just did mine today. I was like, here you go, guys.
We did. So there's been like a.
Because I ignored everybody.
There's been a see a chug, send a chug, or like see a shot, send a shot, and I did the chug one. I got nominated for the chug one. I chugged, and then when I did like a little video call with my friends, some of my other friends from college, my Tiger Slayer friends, we
You say Tiger Slayer?
Tiger Slayer. So Tiger Slayer is.
Are you the Tiger Queen?
I technically at one time at Mizzou I was.
V-erotica? V-erotic? Not erotica, but well, I don't know, whatever. You know what I was saying.
But yeah, no, the Spirits organization at Mizzou, my friends, but we all like literally did a FaceTime, like we all took our shots and like did it on there for like my one friend to do it for that. But then there's also the one that I'm like whatever about right now. It's called Until Tomorrow.
Okay, so that's what I said to everybody naturally yesterday. I was like, all right, guys, I'll see you until tomorrow. And then like 2 people instantly hit me back. They're like, do you know what that means or whatever? Because I've been seeing that online like all day. I was like, Paul was one of the people that said it to me. I was like, no, I hadn't seen it. And then I came in and saw it on social media. I'm like, that's really weird.
So like how this challenge works is like usually you get I guess you get nominated because I technically got nominated today. Will I follow through? Probably not. But some like how it starts, like somebody posts a like embarrassing or weird or funny old photo. And then with the caption Until Tomorrow. And the idea is like they're posting it to their Instagram feed and they're just keeping it there for 24 hours, which I feel like in this day and age with stories and stuff, what's the point of that? Mm-hmm. But and then if you like it, technically then you're nominated, like you get sent a message from the person who did it. And then you're nominated to do the same and like
shit is all viral.
My thing is like I post embarrassing pictures of me online. I'm sure if you look at I don't really care.
I never post embarrassing pictures of me online ever. Dude, that's like I've done such a good job over the years of like except for the time when I was fat and I couldn't help it.
I kind of had a thing in high school where I would like just put the embarrassing pictures of me. I'm like, whatever.
I respect it. I wouldn't do it,
but I mean, I don't really care that much. But that's why I'm like, what's the point of this? And then I'm gonna take it down after 20 more hours until tomorrow. Like I don't feel like when we live in a world where we have so many outlets on our different platforms for stuff to be temporary. What is the point of this? Like. People could like I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a fun thing. It's whatever. It's distracting. Whatever. Actually, my friend Kendall, who works in a hospital, was like, "Could you explain this?" She's always comes to me as like her social media guru. She's like, "Explain this Until Tomorrow challenge to me."
Yeah.
And I explained it to her, and she's like, "I don't get it. I feel like it's stupid and whatever."
I mean, it's as simple as it's just, all these things are chain letters. That's all it is.
I know.
They're just a certain chain letter. Yeah, I definitely saw the one where you draw shit with your nose.
The drawing shit with your nose, or then the other drawing stuff where it's like it's a chain of like all these people drawing oranges or carrots or whatever.
Yeah. That was actually the first one. I regretted doing that one. Actually,
I regretted doing that one as well. But
but we did it.
I saw like one of my favorite comedians, Jared Freed, said he's all like, we're barely into this quarantine. We're already on the like drawing a carrot stage. This is gonna be a long ride. And I was like,
the most annoying people right now that I'm like really annoyed at are the ones that always stay in and are complaining about staying in right now. It's like, dude, shut up. Like, you never come out. Your excuse is always like, I'm a grandma, I'm a blah, blah, blah. And, like, now that you're in, you're like, you don't want to, like, you don't want to stay in? Like, that's bullshit.
It sounded like a very personal situation.
No, it's not at all. Like, you see it all the time. Like, it's like, to me, I'm not even, like, complaining about any of this. Like, that's what I'm trying to say is, like, my life isn't really, besides going to the gym or actually having to go to work, like, my life hasn't changed that much. Maybe not going to parties and shit, but I'm still being social. Like, still doing podcasts, still like seeing people, like, you know, eating food, like, you know what I'm saying, like watching shows. Like,
I would hope you're still eating food.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know what's different
quarantine
here.
means I put nothing in my body.
I mean, nothing has changed really. I mean, you know, I'm not like even complaining about any of this shit. Like, I kind of like the fact that I don't have to do anything. Oh, I don't have to go to your happy hour. Oh, I don't gotta go to like your party, your birthday. I don't care. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just
You know what's weird?
I don't have to hit you back to go on a date. Like,
yeah. Okay, yeah. But you know, like, you could have said no to some of those, like, during those times if you didn't actually want to go either.
This is the part of this whole thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? It has you thinking, like, you know, what do you actually have to do and what do you don't have to do? Like, you know, people like I guess we'll get into that in our main topic a little bit. But what made you go yikes this week?
So we sort of prefaced it. You sort of prefaced it. So there was this whole video that came out where it was like stars.
It was cringy as shit.
Gal Gadot singing Imagine, like verse by line,
Yeah, and first of all, each of them were like in different keys and shit.
And also, like, none of them were singers.
No.
And so...
And they're all rich.
And like, my thing is like, okay.
And it's not a great song. Like, imagine
What?
You're gonna start the song with like, imagine if there's no heaven, but like people are dying right now.
Yeah,
what do you mean imagine if there's no heaven?
It's cringy as hell, and also like I can't really sympathize for rich celebrities in LA who are quarantining in their multiple room, fully like stocked.
Their chef lives with them.
Facilities.
The trainer lives with them.
They have a pool. Like, I can't really sympathize with them. Like, I don't have a yard.
I know. Honestly, to be honest, like,
honestly, to be honest, tell me.
This now you know I'm being honest. You know, Ellen's fucking phone calls. Those are annoying as shit to me. I don't want to see you on your dumbass couch calling your famous friends, like, seeing what they're doing and stuff. Like, it's dumb to me. Like, and it's just, Ellen is annoying right now. I don't know why.
I mean, I feel like everybody is either, things are...
Like, she feels like she found a thing. Like, this is her thing during the quarantine where I sit on the couch and call my friends in front of you guys.
People are trying to, like, this is a
just
time...
Just name dropping in front of you guys.
That people are gonna, like, do stuff, and it's either gonna flop or it's gonna do well. Like, Miley Cyrus has been doing... She, like, created a little, like, IG live / turns to IGTV after she, like, you know, finishes the live show where it's called Bright Minded. And actually, like, it's kind of fun. Like, so she brings on... She, like, she does, like, the double live or whatever with other people.
Which everyone's doing.
But, like, she, like, has, like... She actually, like, kind of runs it like it's a talk show, and she'll, like, hold up, like, different, like, printouts. It's cute. But, yeah, like, I feel like a lot of people are doing stuff right now, and it's either gonna flop, like singing Imagine, as rich... tone deaf people, or it's gonna bring some joy. Like, I've been clicking through some of the Miley Cyrus stuff.
It'd be funny though, like, she gets this backlash and now they're like, we're never gonna put your movie in theaters. That shit's going straight to streaming, bitch.
It's going straight to streaming. And then Nick Lachey,
which it will probably do better on streaming than it would on the
and Nick Lachey also did, like, he tried to pretend like he was still a singer, which he was at one time, but he's lost it. And like, he did, like, a whole song, like, you could tell Vanessa's behind the camera, really, like, filming it like she was, like, Quentin Tarantino.
Singing
like, some, like, acapella, some, like, song about coronavirus and staying inside, and, like, the news was on in the background. He, like, went to the TV and then, like, went to the window and, like, it was a whole...
Jesus.
It was a...
No.
It was a whole thing. And I'm just saying, you know, maybe
I don't know if they're going to be hosts for the next season of Love is Blind.
Speaking of that, I forgot to put it on here, but I'll say it quickly. They are casting for Chicago right now.
Yeah, so what, they're going to do the same thing they did here in Atlanta, but in Chicago?
I'm guessing, yeah.
That sucks, because all my friends wanted me to apply.
I know.
Yeah.
Move to Chicago.
Why would they should just keep doing it in Atlanta. That'd be cool.
I know. Well, I'm sure they're trying to, like, change the...
Diversify and just get that virus spread. That's cool.
Yeah, my friend Kyle Gunby, he submitted his application for it, so...
I would totally go on it.
I know you would. You would be great on it.
Thanks. Wow, that's really nice. Why don't we get into main topic? What do we got? Main
okay.
topic.
So, just put some more.
Hand sanitizer.
Oh fuck! I just got it on me. So,
Yeah.
we're living in this age of self-quarantining.
Unprecedented times.
It's tingling.
Yeah.
And coronavirus, COVID-19, if you will, if we want to be exact. And we're living, and it's changing our relations with dating. And so-
COVID.
COVID-19.
No, I said Hovid.
COVID-19. Honestly, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I gotta write down a title right quick. But yeah, no, it is kind of crazy because like, you know, like I said, every passing week, you know, it used to be like, hey, like we're quarantining. Do you want to hang out one-on-one? Okay, cool. But now like girls think it's sexy when you don't try to hang out with them.
Well, so I agree. So I feel like it's definitely like people were trying to use it as like a slick line to be like, want to quarantine or whatever, and then like most women are like, no offense, we sometimes are smarter, but like we're like, hey, like that's actually not how social distancing works. But now it's changing like the whole dating game because it's not like we can really go on real dates right now. So I actually had like a friend who did like her first like FaceTime first date the other day because like she had been talking to some guy off of an app, and she's like,
How'd it go?
She said it went well. She's like, it was kind of weird. Like we, like, you know, listened to some new music together and we just talked about different
weird.
stuff. I thought that was kind of weird. I'm like, I'd rather like play a game or something.
Yo.
But
you guys have to sit there and watch each other listen
like,
to the song.
yeah, like, oh my god, so good.
Can we like listen to this off screen?
But it definitely is changing the game, and like it's either so, and I've seen so many memes that are like, okay, like this is your time, like guys, like you, like now you're being a pen pal, you have to like really woo me with your text game or like whatever. I feel like I am either at a point where like I had been like maybe talking to some people or whatever, and like some of them are really trying to like hang out and come over, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, if you're trying to talk to a girl, this is the perfect time to talk to her. But don't think after that talking that you're going to slip in and try to get in, because that's when the talking stops. Like, you know what I'm saying? The second you try to come over or something like that, they're not trying to talk. Everyone's like going to respond to your text right now. And if they're not, then this is a time right now where you know that they don't want to talk to you, right?
yeah.
So
I agree.
if they're not responding to your text during COVID-19, then she's just not there.
She's just not that into you. But definitely, and I feel like because people are bored, people are coming out of the woodwork.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, like I had a guy who like I had matched with on an app, and
I think that's a girl thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if guys, and if guys are getting this right now, then
I
you
feel
guys
like
baller.
because I think guys are ones that are more thirsty in this situation, just like because they're like, okay, like I'm bored. I'm
just joking.
I'm bored. Like I want to have like some sort of, either they're trying to get it in still, or they're just like, okay, maybe I can finesse this situation to get it in eventually.
Well, we're running out of time because, like, legit, like, you had, like, maybe the rest of the week to find your little quarantine buddy, that someone that, like, is going, because after that, like, you're not, like, hanging out with multiple people, right?
I had, like, my ex-boyfriend from, like, 2018 hit me up this past week to, like, go on a walk. And, like, I'm like, I have not talked to you for a while.
Yeah.
And also, and I wasn't feeling well, honestly, but
I was seeing, like, a meme where it's like, guys, a viral pandemic is not an excuse to text your ex-girlfriend.
Well,
your ex.
Yikes.
I've been actually stuck in my mind. I've been great, so.
Good, I'm proud of you.
No, like, how you doing?
Yeah,
not
like,
even.
it's easy. It's like kind of like a...
It's like, well, actually, it's like, who's going to
like
care about the
Merry-
other person first?
It's like,
we don't care about each other.
It's
okay.
like the Merry Christmas, like, you know, where it's like, Merry Christmas,
Right.
hope you win well. You know, all those, like, memes of, like, Future being all, like, blah, 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 this pandemic is spreading, like, but I, like, my love for you, like, whatever.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But, yeah, so I feel like, but also, like, what you were saying, like, finding your quarantine bae, I have some friends that got into, like, they're early in their relationship situation, and now they're, like, pretty much living with that person because it's, like, all this has accelerated their relationship because it's, like, okay, it's either we don't see each other for an indefinite amount of time, or we just live together for this amount of time.
I have an experiment happening on the other side of that wall right now.
Oh.
Remember all the noises I hear all the time and stuff?
They're
having a lot of sex. And the thing is, it's like, I can hear it, and now they're my neighbors, and we're, like, openly talking about it, because this place, like, they can hear us probably talking right now. Like,
I'm
this
sure.
is, like, the way
Hello.
it works. Yeah.
Hello, Nabes.
We're a big fan. But but yeah, no. I mean, they just started dating. Like, I mean, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, she was telling me how she just started seeing him. Now they're living with each other next door in her apartment.
Yeah.
And
so it's like the honeymoon phase, but it's like, how quickly will they get out of that? Because like,
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. How do you get acclimated back to regular life? Like, you know, when
like
everyone,
going on
when you
like
go back
real
home,
dates.
do
Yeah.
you never want to go back there, or do you just stay there? Like, you know, I don't know.
I know.
It's weird times, man. Yeah, I mean, I've just started talking to this girl that moved in over here, and, you know, we got really close. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Closer than 6 feet, are you saying?
Yeah. But, I mean, it's just interesting. Like, you know, like, it's unprecedented times. I'll be like, it's not even, like, a person, like, I would typically even, like, go for or anything like that. We're just, like, hung out a bunch of times here around the neighborhood, and now it's, like, you're cool, like, you know, or we'll hang out, and like,
it's like, I don't even want to say
she lives right there, so.
Desperation. It's just like people are feeling people are like thirsty and also lonely, and also everything is so uncertain, so we're like, fuck it,
right? If we're gonna die tomorrow. Yeah. Interesting.
But it's just definitely like,
have you hooked up with anyone since Corona time?
No, like not since like actually fully like self-quarantining, I will say. I mean, because I've been trying to be good about that whole idea, especially because like I was on a plane, and so technically, like, you know,
yeah, you already did your damage.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm more worried about like, what if I'm technically carrying something or whatever. So that's more that, but I feel like I definitely, it's like, yeah, a guy who like matched with me, ghosted me. He like, when I was literally like, as like this news started to get bigger, like when I was coming back from Miami, that's when he like texted me. Literally not heard from this man for like over a month. Like he like, you know, disappeared into the ether because plans just never, like he never confirmed plans.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of girls that I was talking to that just like are disappearing in Corona. Like right
oh
now.
yeah, so no, but like this
it
guy
sucks too, because
this
like,
guy came back from being already disappeared, and now, and then he was like literally calling and trying to hang out like 2 Sundays ago.
Yeah.
Because he was like, well, can I get in time before this gets too serious?
Right. I feel like.
But yeah, I feel like there are other people that I've been like talking to that now either like I'm trying to like reach out, feel that out, be like, okay, are we still gonna talk? Or are we gonna try to like continue this situation? Or
no, everything's been put on pause.
Or are we not? Like that's
jobs have been put on pause. Dating has been put on pause.
That's why it's like, okay, are people gonna like try to continue dating people through like, you know, FaceTime, like making little like FaceTime date nights or like whatever?
Are people still swiping on dating apps?
So some dating apps are like kind of like slowly like either like shutting down or minimizing like how you can do stuff or whatever, because
it almost seems like you're still being a problem for this.
Well, yeah, because it's not like you can like meet up. You can't meet up, and so. Some people, I feel like I like went to the dating apps again just to kind of see like what the activity was looking like in this time. And there are some people who are like trying to like throw the like, oh, we should quarantine together. I'm like, too late. And like whatever kind of lines at me. I'm like, why would I quarantine with someone I don't know?
Right.
But yeah, I feel like so they're like active, but also not at the same time, because it's like if you're gonna be on an app right now, you have to be okay with the fact that all you guys are gonna do is like text or maybe FaceTime, because like you can't get to know each other in real life yet.
What's funny is that like sex is like a funny thing. You can see well, I'm just saying it's a funny.
I mean, yeah.
You can see someone be so about like wiping everything down, you know what I'm saying? Don't touch anybody, don't blah blah blah. But the second like they want to have sex with someone, like all like inhibitions go out the window, and like you're just like swapping spit.
I know. Well, that's why. I mean, that's why technically, like, you're not supposed to, unless it's like a live-in or a very monogamous self-quarantine partner, because.
So you're saying the coronavirus affects old people, babies, and single people?
Pretty much.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah.
So yeah, you know, just trying to thrive out here.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't really been hating on it too much. there's not much to complain about if you really think about it.
Yeah, I don't have a nice little built-in situation like you do. So
I didn't know I had that. And I was like, I was asking her too. I'm like, like, yeah, don't you think it's weird, like, me and you, like, are even like talking, like, we're just like different personalities and stuff. Like, we're cool.
As I said, don't want to say
It's
different
cool
times
to kind
call
of
for desperate measures, but it's like
it's not even desperate. It's
different
just like
times call for different measures.
Yeah, I think it's just like you're getting to know people differently. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you get to know somebody and you're like, actually, you are cool. I might not have like walked up to you on the street or like in a bar or like at a party, but I'm glad I did in a pandemic, I guess. I don't know. It sounds all bad, but it's actually pretty cool.
I mean, and like kind
like
of...
I'm becoming friends with people that I didn't even know like I was going to be friends with.
Yeah, speaking of friends, because, I mean, I feel like I have been reconnecting with friends, old friends, random friends, whatever, that I might not have normally. You know, the ones that you always say, we should grab, oh my God, we should totally grab lunch sometime. Or like, oh my God, we definitely need to catch up.
Right.
I've actually been talking to some of those friends because when I'm not working,
Why not?
I'm not doing much
Kind of where I'm
else.
at right now. I was like, why not?
Yeah, like, so I definitely, like, I had a FaceTime with one of my friends that I knew from college that, like, we hadn't really talked to each other or anything. And we discussed, like, the idea of, like, social media makes it so easy for you to feel like you're, like, connecting with somebody when you're not really, because you'll just, like, watch their story or you'll see their posts and you'll be like, oh, okay, I know what they've got going on. Like, that was my interaction with them, which, like, in general, like, that's not really, unless you're, like, actually, like, talking to them, messaging with them, like, you're not really, like, just, like, you're passively seeing their
I
life.
guess it depends on if the other person is looking at your life and absorbing it just the same, because, like, one person could be one-sided about knowing everything about the other person, and the other person doesn't even look at your life, so
yeah,
it's like,
but even if you both, like, do look at each other's lives, but, like, it's not like you know everything, obviously, because it's, like, social media only shows
what you put out.
Certain stuff,
right.
So
well, I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm sure things will develop even more.
I'm interested to really see, like, I mean, because there's been so many memes about, like, or even just stuff that happened where a bunch of the people in China, like, came out of it when they were quarantined and everything, came out of, like, with divorces. So I'm interested to see how some of these, like, fresh relationships.
Yeah, I was thinking about, like, suicide and stuff. Or,
that
like,
too.
When is that going to start hitting? No one thinks about, like, being pent up in your house is, like, all these people. We're talking about mental health, like, for a long time. You think this is the biggest thing?
Oh, yeah. This
health?
Definitely, I mean, yeah, this is definitely rough.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, in a lot of factors. And I think, this is, like, the time for a lot of, like, therapy, online therapy or whatever is going to go through the roof, I'm sure. A lot of hotlines and things like that. But
yeah, I guess that's good for therapists. Therapists, I don't know if they're, like, necessarily, besides the fact that people might not have money to pay you at the moment, but if they still need it and wanting it, you can still provide a service.
Yeah, of some sort, sort of virtual service or whatever. I think that's, like, super important.
Well, that's what's up. Well, I hope everyone's staying safe and, doing their best they can to social distance. And like, another reminder is that, like, not everyone's going to do it right. You know what I'm saying? Don't feel bad about, like, if you're doing the best you can that you think you're doing, like, and other people are going to make you feel bad about the way you're doing it and stuff, like, that's not necessarily right. The way they're doing it might be wrong too. Like, they're doing something in the way they're doing it. I
feel
too.
like, yeah, shaming other people isn't the move, but, like, then there's also, like, I think we need to, like, on that token of, like, not everybody's doing it right, I think we should all think about it of, like, as if everybody was doing it, like, worse. So, like, okay, then that means, like, we should all just be more careful so that we don't keep increasing all these cases that then will just push our entire economy and our healthcare system into the ground.
I'm saying more of, like, as simple as, like, what's another thing that's been annoying about the social media and the virus is the people that go out, film, like, they're right there at the Beltline filming people, and they're like, I guess this is social distancing in Atlanta, and you're, like, part of it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't keep spreading that shit. Like, if you're gonna be out, then be out, but don't be talking shit about everyone being out while you're being out. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just stupid. And I don't understand. Like, if you're gonna go out and do that shit, definitely don't post about being out, because, like, I like, just this past weekend, I was with, we're calling it the under 10 crew, our under 10 crew, like the 10 people that we like were together when we we're like, all right, we're not gonna hang out with other people like in group settings like this besides this group. And we ended up we played like karaoke like all together and stuff like that. And like I didn't get like backlash or anything like that. Just like people being like 6 feet away, like what happened? You got to comply, whatever. Like it's more like older family shit. People that watch the news a lot. And but like even then, it's like it's just like you're getting shamed into your corners and shit. And it's like I just don't like if I like to me, okay, fine. If I can't sing in a room with like my best people and shit like that, like I don't even want to live on this earth. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of like the way I'm looking at things sometimes. So it's like you got to stay sane. Do the things you think are like right. Do the things you're worth doing for you. And stuff
do the
like
things that I guess my thing is like listen to what officials and health officials are saying, because that's what really matters, because they're the ones that really know.
Right.
So
with that being said, do you ever like have plans? Like, do you have plans for this weekend?
I have like I think more of the stuff that we've been doing is like I have plans to like FaceTime or Google Hangout or different things like that. That's like those are my plans that I've been making. I've been like literally making time to do that kind of stuff. Or like my plan, like I cleaned everything this past weekend. I'm probably gonna do some more organizing this weekend. I have a lot of friends that are baking a lot, like making bread, doing all that shit. I have not been doing that. I've been this close to buying a Switch, a Nintendo Switch, but they're like so hard to buy right now because everybody's buying them up because the new Animal Crossing came out, and so everyone's like, perfect thing to do during quarantine is to build an island on Animal Crossing. So
yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll see what happens and develops in the next week. Future Bachelor will be here.
Quick Bachelor updates.
Yeah.
So there's a quarantine crew.
Oh my God, they're so annoying.
So yes, there's a lot of mixed feelings about the quarantine crew. It includes Tyler Cameron, Hannah Brown, Tyler's very hot roommate, Matt, and then Tyler's younger brother, and then a couple, like 2 other girls. And so they're all like staying at a house in, I'm guessing, Jupiter, Florida, all together. And like they've pretty much have used it as like a vehicle to do a bunch of like TikToks and challenges and like
keep making money
videos and shit like that, and like also to just troll us, being like, are Hannah and Tyler together? Who's to say?
They're definitely together.
But why
would they be living together? Like they flew in together and they are together.
They keep saying that they're just pals, but I don't believe it. But I definitely feel like it's, if they're hopefully like really not interacting with anybody else, because like that's the ideal situation, then I feel like they're fine as long as they're just like keeping themselves doing their stupid shit in their house together. But yeah, it is annoying. It's very like, it's like, okay, are we gonna use this to be like TikTok famous now? Like, is that what's gonna happen?
Yeah, essentially they're just doing a bunch of dumb shit together. But I'm just jealous because I'm by myself, and I'm not rich either. So
yeah. And then Mike Fleiss has announced that they're gonna be doing they're gonna be airing on Bachelor Mondays. They're gonna be airing the world's greatest episodes of Bachelor, Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise, and maybe some Bachelor Pad as well, which is an older show. And so technically I guess there's gonna be some voting system where like we can vote.
Sorry, recording a podcast, talk later.
It was like, ah. Yeah. So we'll have to see what that looks like, especially because, they postponed the recording of Bachelorette. I'm guessing whatever the Listen to Your Heart is still going to come out, because that looks like that was all already filmed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like they're probably like, shit, like all the other shows we might not be able to air or whatever.
Shoot, I like, my whole brain like boggles on all that, like how easily the system can fall, like the house of cards falls. Mm-hmm. Like what the hell are people advertising on TV? Like what the hell are
I mean, yeah.
What do they have that? What are you trying to sell? Like, who is investing in an advertisement for TV right now?
So people, like, a lot of ads that are going, like, I've even seen, like, some of the stuff for, like, the company that we work at of, like, ads that people, like, on social people are buying or having to adjust. It's all like, okay, like, what things if you're a restaurant, are you doing curbside pickup or takeout or whatever? If you're this or that, is there, like, some sort of in-home version? Like, drop ads that don't, like, it's kind of crazy. It's like, I feel like
We're not selling cars right now.
No, because...
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just weird. Like, you know what I'm saying? All, like, the advertisement inside of The Bachelor. You know, it's like they can't really do ads and all that stuff, like product placement they have and all that.
Yeah. Unless it's something you can get online and get shipped to you, and it will be shipped to you. Because, like, sometimes, I mean, Amazon is reducing their shipping of stuff that are, like, considered non-essential and things like that. So... who's to say?
Yeah, sorry for the interruption there. My neighbor just knocked on my door, and I was just like, nope.
I literally was like, oh.
I don't know who it was, but
we're going to be wild in these. I mean, you guys are going to have to stick with us in these next couple episodes because we're going to be, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like this talk, though. Like, I feel like this is the talk that I needed to have with someone, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, we're having all these different conversations with everyone. Everything is Corona talk right now and stuff. So it's like... what else are we going to talk about? This is our life. Like, and it's gotten so bad that, like, celebrities are pinned up now. Like, you know, all the celebrities that were like, I'm not going to do this. I don't believe in this stuff. They've been pushed down too. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, there's nothing you can do. And so everyone's inside. And that's why we're getting all this crazy content from, like, you know, everybody and anything. So, you know, I've been trying to just stay consistent because... you don't want to, like, tarnish your brand just for this moment, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's just a bunch of things that just could come off. They're coming off corny to me, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's just things I'll try, things I see people try, and I'm just like, oh, you're gonna
like
really...
what?
I mean, just like it's just off-brand shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? People are just, like, doing anything now. They're just turning the camera on and
yeah, if
going
you
live.
If I just go live for no, if me on my personal just go live for no reason, virtually slap me on the wrist because, like, what the fuck would I be doing?
I mean,
what the fuck would I be doing, Sai?
Right.
Hey guys, I know you guys have been really wondering about my skincare routine, so I thought I'd go live and talk about it.
I think I would like to make, like, a weird little, like, Instagram live show, like you were saying, like Miley Cyrus is doing, you know,
yeah.
But it just...
Yeah, but if I just go live by
so
myself
corny,
to shoot this shit...
It's just corny, like...
You have to, like, really, like, commit to the bit, and you have to really, like, actually set it up the right way. Like, John Mayer has his that he started a while ago, and now he's been, like, doing more. And his is good. Miley Cyrus's is actually very good. But, like, yeah, if you're just going live to go live... And I don't want to shame people if this is part of their creative journey. But
well, even this, like, this podcast, like, if we... did it like
I
for
feel
a
like
couple
we
days,
could do,
we would have been corny. Like, we did it forever, and now it's our shit. And now you can't call us corny for doing it because, like, you can't do this. Like, you know what I'm saying?
know.
So it's like, my whole thing is like, you know, if you're gonna do it, commit to it. You know?
I feel like hopefully,
I don't want to see you just
if you're creating a podcast out here in these quarantine streets, in these quarantine
everybody is
houses, I don't know. Make sure it's fucking good.
Yeah. Don't just talk to me about what you're doing.
Because we're coming with this hot fire.
Yeah, this is fire right here. We're actually risking our lives at
this very
bring
moment.
You this
we're gonna change that up because, like, I care. But
I mean, honestly, I thought about fixing it so we would maybe not have to meet up and shit. But I wanted to see you selfishly. I miss you. I miss you.
You're like, I thought about it.
It's like the first time I wanted to hug you. For real, like, you know what I'm saying?
No, you can't.
No, I can't. Aw. But yeah, so, well, let's get into our slapper of the week. We didn't talk about it with the new music earlier, but Childish Gambino dropped a pretty epic, like, album. And I still don't fully understand what it is because, like, the album is, like...
It's like, technically under, like, it's Donald Glover Presents.
Donald Glover Presents Childish Gambino, and he
dropped
names
it, like, for one full day, like, only on, like, a specific site, and then he just now re-released it on streaming.
Right. The album's called 3/15/20, and that was the date it came out.
Yeah.
And essentially, the song starts off with a song called 000, and then the slapper...
I don't get what the numbers are.
Well, I do get it. I mean, so far I haven't read into it, but, like, to me, as, like, someone that like deals with numbers and time code and all that shit. Like essentially it's just the time of like the full album. So when the song is at like 46:02, and that's the name of the song. That's how long it's been.
I kind of thought it was.
But the weird part is that it starts at 00. The second song is Algorhythm, which is our slapper of the week, and then the third song is called Time, and then it goes back to this.
Well,
weird,
and some of the other ones that are at those different time codes are songs that he already released. Technically, like. Some of the couple of the songs in the
summer pack?
Yeah, in the summer pack.
See, I have to read up on it because it seems to be a lot deeper than.
I'm sure it is. I mean, he's a modern Renaissance man. I would do anything for Donald Glover.
Right, and this song is another example of him reinventing himself, and it's just it gives me some Kanye vibes.
This has Kanye vibes. I feel like a lot of the songs on the album have very Prince vibes. Mm-hmm. R.I.P. Prince.
So you can't go wrong when you're a mix of Kanye and Prince. So.
Honestly, no.
Yeah, well, without further ado, this is one of my favorite songs on the album. It's called Algorhythm by Childish Gambino. It's our slapper of the
Donald
week.
Glover. Who's
or
to
Donald
say?
Glover, whatever you call him. Here we go.
You are now rocking with Sign Money. Let's get it.
Sign Money too.
Rack drop.
Slapper of the week. This song slaps.
That was getting a little crazy there at the end.
It does get a little wild.
Our slapper of the week, Algorhythm by Childish Gambino. That's been our show. Do you have any shout outs?
I wanted to shout out my family, obviously, because they're obviously concerned about my well-being.
Yeah,
Want me to
we're safe.
drive all the way back up to Illinois. And then I wanted to shout out my friend Sasha for taking some time to FaceTime with me this week. That was a lot of fun. I want to shout out to my friend Kendall Malkin, who is working in a hospital right now, and I know it's been a lot on her. And she, is right next. She actually works like in child special. She's a child specialist, but like she's right next to like the coronavirus unit, and so there's a lot going on for her. And then I wanted to shout out my Auntie Barb for being the one who filled those steak orders.
Yo, Auntie Barb, yo.
Because we both are benefiting.
Dude, I love you, Auntie. Well, I kind of wanted to give a shout out to my quarantine buddy, Paul Guild, PG.
Aw, Paul, we love you. Wait, you gotta play.
Oh, yo. Yo, shout out to PG.
You're gonna have to make sure you listen.
I forget. Yeah, for sure. That was hilarious. You've just been like, I've been like the saddest thing to me actually in this whole thing that's kind of been getting to me is the fact that like I can't just drive down and be with my family. Like right now would be a perfect time to just get away and hang with my family and my nephew.
Your nephew and your mom and.
I just feel really sad about like not knowing when the next time I get to see my family. You know what I'm saying? Like it just is. I don't know how that works. Like I really don't. And being able to have Paul here and a bunch of other my friends, but specifically Paul is like my brother, my best friend, and having him live down the street that I can just walk. Like we already told each other, like it's me and you. Like we're going down. We're both sick puppies. So if I'm sick, you're getting sick too. We're getting put down together.
Oh my God.
It's nice to be able to at the end of the day be like, yo, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like we'll link up and we're gonna watch a movie. We're gonna cook dinner together. We're hanging out and stuff. So at least I have.
And now you've got some steaks.
Yeah, and I got my own steaks. So I can share that with PG. You hungry? Yeah, man, settle in, guys. I'm going to try to stay on the positive end of it, though. And if you guys ever need anybody, you reach out to me or V, and I'm sure we could talk about something interesting. But, these shows right here are meant to kind of, I know we're talking about it, but meant to be an escape. So,
At least, or it gives you something, it's like you've got us, your friends, in the room with you.
We'll talk to you guys about it, We're probably thinking the same things and going through the same things they're going through. So, make sure you listen, and maybe next week it might not sound like this because we're going to try to figure out a way. Even if it does sound like shit, that's probably the way it's going to have to be for a little bit.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out one way or another. But yeah, guys, make sure you're staying safe, staying inside as much as possible. It's all right to go outside. Just don't be like going in groups of people and stuff because
keep that social distance.
Right. Like don't be hanging out with people you haven't been hanging out with and stuff and all that type of shit. So So yeah, guys, we're still alive. We're still kicking. Corona hasn't gotten the best
Hey,
of us
maybe
yet.
we'll do a live on the Future Bachelor Instagram.
Yeah, maybe just because.
Fuck, why not?
Yeah,
We could do one
That
where
might
it's
be
like
just
a
our
little
episode.
duo live of us.
that's not a bad idea actually.
I know.
So if our next episodes sound like we're on Instagram Live,
Maybe we are.
I'm sorry, but you still listened. All right, guys. Well, this has been Future Bachelor. We love you. My name is Sai,
I'm Veronica.
and we'll see you next week, hopefully. Deuces.
Bye.
Future Bachelor Podcast.